In a world covered by endless night, in a place where fear and despair thrive, in a time when all hope seems lost, two individuals arise to stand firm, resist the darkness, and light the beacons of hope to humanity. To the free people of the future, the courage of these two will mark them as heroes. To everyone else, they will simply be known as Nobodies.
Hello YouTube, welcome to Nobodies, the show that no one's gonna watch because we're two guys talking about nothing. And today's topic, vaccines. Yeah!
The needles and injections and all that fun jazz.
Oh my.
I don't like needles.
Yeah, needles are kind of terrible. So we're in California, where everyone freaks about everything. So, measles outbreak, and now California is thinking about implementing a bill that would force all our children to have vaccines, if I understand that correctly.
Yeah, it would end exemptions, and the way that they structured the bill, they called it personal belief exemptions, and they said that you wouldn't be able to do that. So basically, unless it's proven that the vaccine is going to harm you, or you're allergic to something in the vaccine, a medical reason, you won't be able to do that anymore. So
That seems sensible, right? I mean, why would anyone want to not take a vaccine? Everyone should get one. Obviously I'm being facetious, but the point is, I'm not going to argue whether or not vaccines are good or bad, or, you know, the people who think that vaccines are... That's beside the point. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little off track here, but that's beside the point. The point is, we're being told whether or not our children have to get vaccinated. That's the bad part, is because that infringes upon parental rights. And I know some people are going to backlash and say, well, if you don't get your child vaccinated, that's probably child abuse. But...
yeah, I mean, it goes into the greater good argument. I mean, you're doing it for the greater good, because if you get your children vaccinated, then it means less diseases and stuff floating around, which means you'll infect less children, which means it's an overall benefit for society. So we should just force people, against their will, to get injected with something for the greater good. I can recall a certain party in Germany in the 1940s that agreed with that thinking. I forget their name. I don't know. But it was for the greater good. It was for the greater good, because what you believe is the greater good trumps the somebody else's beliefs. I mean, obviously, because they believe that vaccines are harmful and you don't. But since you're so enlightened and educated, that just trumps their right to their beliefs completely. Right? I think I got that right.
Well, that is an extreme example, but the principle behind that is the same thing ultimately, is that they know what's best, so sit down, shut up, and do what you're told.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have to realize that, you know, we're adults here, and we have to make decisions of our own lives. And, you know, children belonging to your family, you have to be able to take control of your own child and make decisions for your child's life. It's your child. Does not belong to the state. It does not belong to the government. It is your child. And yes, we can draw examples about, you know, when a child gets abused by its parents, shouldn't the government step in? Sure, but that's a separate topic here.
Oh yeah, separate. I mean,
we're talking about vaccines here, and vaccines, like, let's be real here, they aren't necessary in the fact that if you don't get vaccinated, you're going to die, or you're going to kill everyone else off. That's just not going to happen. They're a precaution. And if we're talking about precautions, like, what's the next step? Is the government going to tell you what food specifically you have to feed your children? Because that's along the exact same process lines. If you're not feeding your kid broccoli every night, we're going to fine you. I mean, that's the exact same line of reasoning.
If you boil it down, you do vaccines, you keep everybody healthy. And I think I said that earlier, you know, it's the greater good, you know, it's benefit. Which, in my opinion, vaccinations are beneficial. But I don't believe in forcing other people to get it. And like you said, what's to stop them from forcing us to eat broccoli or, you know, our peas? Because, you know, that makes us healthy. I mean, why not make a law that mandates that we get an hour of exercise every day? Because then we'll be healthier, we'll get less sick, and then it'll get everyone else less sick. So why don't we do that? You know, I mean, why stop there? Why stop at vaccines? Why not keep going? Why don't we all just mandate that we all live perfectly healthy, fit lives, and we'll just ban sugar and
trans fats,
carbs, potato chips, pizza. We'll just ban all of that by law, and then we'll all be healthy. I think
most sane people would understand why this is the line of reasoning and why this is a bad idea.
I don't think they do though. I mean, you know what I mean?
Sane people do. The problem is there's a lot of not sane people out there. Because I met them who I had this exact same argument with, and they said yes, that would be a perfect utopia in which we would get mandated exactly how to live our lives, what we're supposed to eat, etc., because everything would just be perfectly fine.
Like, for real?
Yes, I met someone like that.
Wow.
Yeah, freaking scary, isn't it?
What?
Yes! I'm not making this up at all.
Wow. Okay.
I was hoping he was being facetious, but he was not at all.
Did he live here in California?
Yes, he did.
Okay. I guess I could buy it now. That makes a little more sense. If he was like somewhere else during your travels, I would have been like, but yes, welcome to California, America. Freedom!
And that's what it really comes down to, the fact, right? I mean, we're autonomous individuals. We should be able to take control of our own lives and not be acting like children, even regarding our own children. And it isn't really... It is a slippery slope, and I know it's a fallacious argument, come on, let's be realistic here, that if something like this is acceptable, it doesn't go too far ahead to say, now we can apply this to adults as well. Adults need to get vaccinated. Now adults need to mandate it to not eat these things. Especially with, the government trying to take over healthcare and everything. And now they're going to be racking up a lot of bills for the greater good of the fact, it's too expensive to pay for when you have health problems and the public can't afford that bill. So we're going to make sure you don't eat X, Y, and Z so we don't have to worry about that later.
And I mean, you can even see it now. I mean, not in that necessarily that far, but even now they're trying to tax sugary drinks, sodas, and saying, well, it's healthy for you. I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't drink sodas, but that's my choice. I mean, why should I have to pay extra just because I like to enjoy soda? I mean, like New York, that 16-ounce soda ban or whatever. I mean, that went well. So it's just, if people are going to be unhealthy, so what?
It's their choice. Let them live their lives.
Yeah, I mean...
If it doesn't affect you, it's none of your business.
Right, and like when you talk about medical, when you have the government involved, yeah, it's a burden on the taxpayer. How it's supposed to work is if you're unhealthy, your doctor's the one that makes the money. That's a separate argument when you get into the big scheme of things, but I think generally that's a safe argument. But when, like I said, when you have taxpayers involved, then yeah, it's a problem because you got all these unhealthy people. So, anyway, I was trying to tie that into the slippery slope we were talking about. Because, I don't know, man.
So, I said earlier about how, the government shouldn't control how you live your life as long as you aren't hurting other people. How would you respond to that if one were to say, well, since, diseases are contagious, clearly you're not getting vaccinated does hurt other people?
Well, and here's another thing, real quick. The measles outbreak here in California started at Disneyland, which attracts people from all over the world. Let's just say we have 100% vaccination rate. Woohoo, go America. What about foreigners coming into our country? Like, are we going to mandate that they get vaccines too?
That's a good point.
I mean, can we do that? Is tourism just going to stop? Are they going to care? I mean, can we mandate what other nations do? I mean...
No, but we can simply say that if you don't have this...
Yeah, you're not allowed in.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's that's way extreme. I mean, mandating, well, I think they feel like that because you look at the IRS now, they're looking into foreign bank accounts.
Oh yeah, that too.
So, they're making foreign countries comply with U.S. laws, and it's...
Which is just forcing, U.S. citizens to just get the hell away from us because that saves them more money. Of course, defeating the whole purpose of going after, taxes overseas in the long run anyway.
Mm-hmm. So... Yeah, my little hypothetical scenario. I mean, even if we had everyone vaccinated, there's still foreigners to deal with.
Yeah.
So, regardless of what you want to do, whatever. But that's still a problem. Something to think about, even if you mandated everyone here in America, which I would agree with. I mean, personally, I just say, personally for me, I got them, I get them. I let my children get them. Vaccines have done wonderful things, in my opinion. I see every reason to be cautious, and I'd be scared if there were people... If everyone was just gung-ho and not cautious,
yeah,
that would actually scare me. So I'm glad that there are people out there that are willing to question it. But, I'm cool with it. But I don't believe in the government mandating that you need to stick a needle in my child's arm. I'll kill you. No, children.
Yeah. Things get touchy when we talk about children.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got, man.
Yeah, same here. So I guess this concludes today's episode on why you shouldn't force people to get vaccines, even though we both agree with, vaccines are a good thing. Because, it's their choice and you shouldn't be treating adults like children. And the government is not our parents.
Government is not our parents. I think I'm comfortable closing with that.
Yes. Alright, we hope you enjoyed today's episode. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that BS or whatever. I think we still got 2 subscribers, yay. Yes. And we'll see you next time.
Take it easy.